I was there by myself on Saturday, and I was like, never again will I do that. One, because some weirdos.
Stalking's always like a sus word to say, but there's no other way to say it. I stalked your Instagram. Yeah, let's call it what it is.
This is how it kind of started. I sort of had this like mental breakdown. This is a very long backstory. I apologize.
I like it. I'm here for it.
My first con, I dressed up as Rogue, and I bought my very first comic because they were all ripped and shredded, and the detail was amazing.
Vascular as all heck.
Yeah, I was like, oh, this is like the best sexy looking comic I've ever seen. Somebody from Marvel Social came up to me and was like, hey, can I get a photo for Instagram? I'm like, sure. That's my origin story. Yeah, mental breakdowns really get you places.
Welcome everybody to Con Culture Podcast. We have an amazing guest here today, so you don't just have to stare at our ugly faces, you get an amazing talent to stare at also.
Hi everyone, I'm Stefania. I'm a cosplayer, content creator, and an actress.
And amazing cosplayer at that.
Thank you.
Stalking's always like a sus word to say, but there's no other way to say it. I stalked your Instagram. Yeah, let's call it what it is. I've been light stalking your Instagram, and you are phenomenal. Like way back, even before you started doing the recent Rogue stuff, like you have a nice repertoire of cosplays, and I am so glad that a mutual friend of ours like sent me your way for the great opportunity we'll be talking about later. But how did this all come to be? We'll start with that. How did you get into cosplay? How did you get into this world?
Well, I've always loved dressing up. I did theater once when I was a kid. I mean, I can't really say much about that, but yeah, I love dressing up. Halloween's my favorite holiday, and I started to get back into theater in high school, so that's where my passion kind of continued for that. And then I didn't really know anything about cosplay until it was like a big thing on TikTok, like during COVID and all that. Like everyone was cosplaying, and it was crazy. And
yeah, COVID birthed a lot of cosplayers for sure.
Yeah, I always tell myself if I started sooner, I would probably be at like such a bigger level right now, a bigger platform. But I started in 2021. I kind of made my first cosplay. It was Halloween. I was preparing it for, but I made it myself, so I kind of considered it a cosplay of Loki. And nice. I did like a Lady Loki version. I did that the horns. They did not come out very good, but it was my first time using EVA foam and Warblood. Those are like Warblood, especially, is very hard to use. So I was pretty proud of that. I think it's in a box somewhere in the closet, so I don't know where it is right now. But
you kept it?
Yeah, I kept. I was like, I'm so proud of this. I'm gonna keep it, even though it looks.
That's awesome.
Like, I mean, people said it looks really, really good for
yeah,
size and.
We're always going to criticize. Yeah, and we're always going to criticize ourselves way more. We get a lot of love for our first, but everybody's like, yeah, it was bad. It was like taped together, and like the paint didn't really match. So it was splotches. But yeah, no, you did it. And you loved it. When did you first cosplay? Was that, you took it to a con, or was that just kind of like on TikTok?
No, that one was just for Halloween. But my first time dressing up as Rogue was actually on Halloween, but it was for work. And this was like before I lost like 40 pounds. So what? I look so different. Thank you. I look so different from then to now. Like even like 2 years ago, after I was done with like my plan, I was still like continuing to lose weight. So like even 2 years ago, I look completely different than now. So it's crazy how that happened. But I sort of got into content creating. I graduated in 2021 from college. And I started content creating like end of April, maybe like April to May, I want to say. So this is how it kind of started. I sort of had this like mental breakdown. This is before I graduated, because I
shuffle the cards.
Yeah, literally. So because I graduated in 2021, that means 2020, my junior year, was COVID, and senior year, so it was like all online. It was like, oh, it was so awesome at first, but then it just started to become depressing, and I missed going to school and seeing my friends. So
isolating.
Yeah, and So it continued into 2021, but it was hybrid now, so like in person and online.
Mm.
Even then, it sucked because for theater, we couldn't do anything in 2020 for theater, and theater was my passion. And 2021, we did a play, but we had to wear masks, and it was very hot on the stage, and it was black masks too, so like that absorbs the light, and it gets
Oh
very
yeah.
hot
yeah,
in there.
just it
And we
was
were
a
wearing all
swamp
black
under
too.
there. I
Like I was
bet.
wearing a black
Whew.
dress. So, oh my god, it was hot. It was hot. Um,
Just puddles
so
everywhere.
yeah, and it, I mean, it was a great performance nonetheless, but
Mm-hmm.
I just wish things were so different. Um, but anyway, I had this mental breakdown because I didn't know what I was going to do with my life. I was graduating soon. I studied film and theater, but with COVID being a thing and losing 2 years of my college career, I was supposed to go to an internship at the
Mm-hmm.
Cannes Film Festival my junior
Nice.
year. And that obviously got canceled because that happens in May. And then I tried again. That was my second attempt trying to go. I tried again senior year because they were like, okay, we're gonna let a few people go, small group. I was like, okay, and they shut that down. They school canceled overseas travel, so we couldn't do anything. Okay,
That
so
sucks.
I tried 3 times to go to Cannes, didn't work. So then I was like, all right, I'm gonna lose it. I don't know what I'm gonna do with my life because
Nothing's working out.
nothing's working out. I'm freaking out. I don't want to stay at the bakery forever because I worked at a bakery.
Mm-hmm.
And then I I saw like people cosplaying on TikTok all throughout COVID, and I love dressing up. And I tried it out Halloween in 2020, so I was like, let me try it out. So April, I also kind of like, I figured Rogue. I discovered Rogue. I believe it was during my years are kind of like all over the place because COVID kind of ruined that, and I can't really place where things happen when things happen.
It was all a
COVID.
blur.
Yeah, it
It
was
was
the blip.
all
It was the real life
so
blip.
I don't remember. Yeah, literally, I don't remember if it was before COVID or during,
Mm-hmm.
but let's just say like during, like 2020, maybe the beginning. Um, I always I created this superhero in my head, someone that could absorb power. Because I love creating. I'm good at creating characters, never with names. So this person never had a name, but she could absorb powers, and I made her like OP, so like she kept them permanently. So
Okay.
like one example was like Thor, and she like wielded the power of Thor. It was pretty awesome. Anyway,
That
that
is
was all in my
sick.
head, right? Because ever since I was a kid, I was very imaginative. And then I started like looking up. This is a very long backstory. I
I
apologize.
like it. I'm here
the,
for it.
We're here.
I'm on the edge of my
Um,
seat. I am here.
the amount of times I've told the story. I'm like, wow, it's actually really, really long. Got to figure out how to condense it. Um,
We need context.
yeah, I love the details. Now, like I said, storytelling is my thing. And I started to look up like strong Marvel superheroes, women superheroes, I guess that I could like dress up as or cosplay as. Again,
Mhm.
don't know how it came to be. Um, and I came upon Rogue on some of these lists and figured out who she was, and I was like, oh shit.
Wait a
That's
minute.
my
She can steal
character.
powers.
Wait a
second.
minute. Did I just create a character that already existed? I did. So that's when I gave her the name. I never had a name for this character, and that's where she got the name. She was already a character, already created.
That's awesome.
So fast forward to 2020, I dressed up as her for Halloween at work. And then 2021, I started to make content. And I was like, okay, let me make some cosplay content, but as Rogue. And there was like really good audios that were going around at the time. Now you don't really find any anymore, which sucks. And I started to just base the audios off of X-Men stories or Rogue related stories, and people liked it, and it became a thing. And I was like, okay, maybe I could do this for maybe
Might
not
be
a
a
living
thing.
at first, but
And do
maybe
this outside of Halloween.
something.
This might
Yeah.
be a thing.
Yeah, outside of Halloween, yeah. So Halloween now is like a regular day for me because I just
It's every
cosplay
day.
all the time. Yeah,
Just
but
regular.
that's my origin story. Yeah, mental breakdowns really get you places.
Oh,
think we all have some experience with life just not going the way we planned.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
And then you
I
got to
think
pick
everyone
up
has
whatever.
with COVID now. So like
Yeah.
everyone has one now.
COVID kept us home. COVID
Mhm.
changed like work.
Yeah.
People went remote, especially I was an extrovert. So I love being around people,
Yeah.
talking, chatting, and then it shut down and I fell in love with isolation. Like I kind of fell in love with just staying home,
Yeah.
minding my own business, playing with my cool stuff, playing
Yeah, I
on
kinda did too.
computers. Yeah, so yeah, it's definitely an adjustment period. Trey, what question do you have for our guests? Because I don't want to hog them all.
Okay, so we got your origin story. What was your first
Yes.
con that you attended, and what did you cosplay?
Ooh, that's a good one.
So my first con was Terrificon in Connecticut, and I'm from Connecticut as well, so it was very not that far from me. And the actually the first thing I wore it was Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So Friday I went all 3 days. Friday I was a mix of the Winter Soldier and Rogue.
Oh,
So I
okay.
made a Winter Soldier arm, which is actually up there, creating
That's so
collecting
badass.
dust. And that one was kind of hard to make. It took a while.
Yeah.
But
I'd imagine, could it articulate or was it just like stuck
it
in
was
that
stuck.
position?
I couldn't do all that.
Either
much.
way, both are hard
Oh,
as
yeah.
shit to make.
Wait, actually, is it 2 pieces? No, it is 2 pieces. It is.
So the elbow
Yeah.
can
So you could
move a little.
Yeah. I just wore like a black shirt underneath.
Yeah.
I probably should have worn like a gray shirt or something.
No, it looks fine with
but it was
black because
alright.
it kind of gives like a shadow effect, like
Oh,
the
yeah.
crease in the
sure.
elbow. So at least that's when I've seen people do it. It works with black.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I mean, it worked for the time,
Mhm.
but it was very hard trying to figure out how to like strap it to my arm, and that was
yeah.
complicated. And I don't think
Yeah.
I would ever do that again unless I had the right material or someone did it
Yeah.
for me. But I used Evolution Rogue's wig, so the shorter one. 'cause
Oh,
I
yes.
felt like it made
That's
more
awesome.
sense, and I had the mask
Yeah.
too. So that was my first. Then the next day I cosplayed as Rogue, 90s Rogue. And that day I was walking and somebody from one of the comic booths yelled Rogue, and I turned around and he was like, "We have your first appearance comic here." I'm like, "Oh, no way." Never got a comic book before this, right? Wasn't collecting before this. And I went up to them and it was a
Gateway drug.
newsstand edition. It was a newsstand edition Avengers Annual 10, and it was I think it's like in very fine condition. It's not like the greatest, but like it's pretty good. It was pretty good for what it is. And he's like, "We have your edition here." I was like, do I want to get this? Do I want to get this? Because she was actually pretty pricey. For the time that I was like, I don't want to spend this much. But then as I started getting more into comics, I was like, okay, I kind of have to, price. These are the prices of some good comics out there, so I guess I don't have to spend this much. But I actually bought that comic. So my first con, I dressed up as Rogue, and I bought my very first comic at that con, and it was the first appearance of Rogue.
That's what I want to hear. What was reading your first comic book like? Like, what did you think of the stories, the art, like all of it, the experience of reading your first comic? How was that, and how addicting did it become after?
I think I read that comic first, but I don't think I read it on that physical copy. I have Marvel Unlimited on my iPad.
Yes.
So
best value.
I was like,
best value ever.
Yeah, I paid the yearly price. So I'm like, I'm gonna use this all the time. I just want to pay the yearly price.
I like getting it at Christmas because they sell it for like $57 as opposed to the 60 some odd dollars. I'm out of focus. No. Yeah, as opposed to the 60 some odd dollars, it's only $57. So I do it at Christmas time, and then I get the whole year for less. Yeah,
that's not bad.
I love it. I read so many comics through that thing.
Yeah.
I don't mind waiting a little bit. I know there's like, you got to wait some time for the newer series, but I'm like, I'm so backlogged on my like TBR that I'm going to be just fine with the Unlimited.
I'm trying to catch up to the current run of X-Men. Well, I'm almost caught up to like the end of Krakoa, but I gotta like really just binge read all these comics. I've been going to the comic shop like every week getting comics because I love reading physical ones. So when it comes to that time where I actually catch up to the comics that I physically have, I will pick out those comics from my box and read them.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think So Avengers Annual 10 was my first because I wanted to read all about Rogue when I first got introduced to her. So I got the subscription and I looked up Rogue related books because they also have character lists that you can go through. So if you have a favorite character, you can click on them and they give you comics related to that character and
Yeah.
good story arcs for them. So I followed that. And then I just kind of started reading all of Uncanny X-Men and all of X-Men
Ooh,
the 90s run, and I just fell in love with the whole team. And I think I love the art from the Claremont era. It's like some of the best art out there for comics. And then when
agreed.
Jim Lee came in the 90s to do that art, oh my god, it was like innovated. It was so innovating because they were all ripped and shredded and the detail was
Jacked,
amazing.
vascular as all heck.
Yeah, I was like, "Whoa, this is like the best sexy looking comic I've ever seen."
And it's all characters, like not just male,
Yeah.
females look shredded, like
Yeah.
Mystique's physique.
Oh my god, Mother Mystique, of course.
Oh, yeah, that's mommy before that term came to be for sure.
I call her
Picture
Mama
muscle mom.
Mystique.
Mama Mystique, I love
Yeah.
that. So you're now addicted to comics. You're now
Mhm.
addicted to cons, and they just, man, it was just one fell swoop into it. Do you have any particular con memories that stand out to you as like either crazy, funny, or just impactful to you?
My memory is so bad. Um so we can
Girl, same.
yeah. Uh we can let's talk about I guess New York Comic Con
Mm,
because it was my first time going to New York Comic Con last October,
no
and
way. It was my first at that
really,
exact same con. I was in New York for the first time, and it was amazing. I'd love to hear your experience of it.
it was so overwhelming. And I was there by myself on Saturday, and I was like, never again will I do that. One because some weirdos, and two because like I need a bag handler when I'm in cosplay because I have so much stuff
One
that I
hundred
can't. I
percent.
can't.
And then the
Um,
crowd got super thick on Saturday, so
yeah.
just navigating with all your stuff, I'm
Yep.
sure, and then getting stopped for photos and
Oh, so many times. So the entry area, the big entry area for New York
Mhm.
Comic Con.
yeah, where the banner is, and then you
Yeah.
walk into the
So
Nickelodeon areas over
yep,
there.
that is the cosplay hotspot. If you want to get
Yes.
photos taken, that is the place to go. You just stand there and look around or walk around and cosplay, and one person will be like, "Hey, can I get a picture?" And then more people will start
Then a
coming.
line forms.
Yep, that's what happened to me. So I was like in the middle. Oh, I have like two stories about this. One of them was like kind of like creepy, but like annoying. And then another
Mm,
one is good. So I'll tell you the good one first.
yes.
So I was standing and somebody wanted to take a photo. I think it was like a photographer. They were like, "Can I get a photo?" And I was like, "Sure." And so I stood in the middle and I think it's actually the same story. This happened at the same moment. Never mind. I'll tell you all
Yes.
in one
Let's wrap
story.
it up into a bow.
Was it
Yep.
one?
It probably was me. I was probably. I'm gonna go through my pictures to see if I have.
Imagine if you did have one of me. It's like, oh shoot.
I probably do. I'm sure. I love Rogue. So any Rogue cosplayer I see, I'm asking for a photo. That's one of my favorite characters. The X.
Well, I'll be Rogue at in Texas, so
Yeah.
we'll talk about that later though.
Yeah.
But once that person asked me for a photo, I was posing and stuff. Then more photographers came, and there was like a whole crowd of photographers just taking photos of me in the middle of this area, and I was in like this big circle, right?
Yeah.
And then in the middle of that, these two guys come up to me and instantly like asks me, they're like doing a TikTok, whatever, or something like YouTube, whatever, and they go up to people and ask questions, that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. He came up to me and asked, "Oh, I just mixed up two stories. This is a different one." Okay, so the Rogue one, let me finish that one. So, and then during my photos, somebody from Marvel Social came up to me and was like, "Hey, can I get a photo for Instagram?" I'm like, "Sure." And I told her my name, and she actually knew who I was. So I've worked
Oh
with
snap!
Marvel Social a few times. So I guess that's how she knew
was
me.
your mind blown
I was
when
pretty
when
bummed,
she
so
knew
I
your
was
name?
like,
When you were like,
yeah, I was like, I That's pretty interesting.
That's me.
But also like not surprised because they've commented on my stuff a few times, and
That's
like I've
awesome.
worked with Marvel Social before on some stuff. So, but that was pretty cool nonetheless. Someone beeping outside my window. Okay. I live on a busy road, so if you hear like a very loud motorcycle go by,
It's all
yeah, it's
ambience. It's
yeah.
all just adding to that atmosphere.
Honestly, I'm used to it at this point. So then after the photo, there was a very tall Gambit, like somewhere in the back of the crowd, and they were like, "We got to get that Gambit in this photo," and he came over. Guy's like 6'8", 6'8". I'm
Man,
5'3". He was tall. Okay, and the shoes I was wearing, I'm like 5'5", 5'6". But 6'8", man, that's a very tall person, very tall
that's
Gambit.
really tall.
Yeah. So then this girl from Marvel wanted to do a reel for Instagram, and that video actually popped off. It actually got really, really popular on their page, and I should go back and see how many views it's at now. But last time I checked, it was at like 11 million views.
Ooh.
Yeah, that was like end of last year, but he, so the photo that we took, the comments on it was like either she's really short or he's really tall, and we're all like, nah,
Which
he's
one's
6'8".
which?
He's 6'8". We commented like that boy's tall.
Yeah.
I am short, yes, but
That's a
that
treat.
boy's 6'8". His cosplay is great. The photos are great. It's really nice. Took some more photos too with another photographer. It was great.
Mhm.
So that was that, and that was really awesome. They have you sign this like release thing so they can use your content.
Yeah.
And they also tag you on Instagram, which is great.
That is
And
cool. The
then-
fact they give credit.
Yeah.
What about the creepy one though?
That one. So actually, I have a few creepy ones.
Oh no.
Pick one. Pick one.
Oh, we're gonna go through both. But I'll go through
Let's
one first.
go through it. Open the Rolodex.
So this was the first day I went. I went Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. I didn't go Friday. So Thursday I was Supergirl, and I just want to put this out there. I was Supergirl, yes, during the actor strike, but I did wear my writers support badge for it.
Writers Guild.
Yeah. But I was also, it was a generic Supergirl as well, but I also was supporting the Writers Guild at the time. Just wanted to put that out there. And I was taking a bunch of photos. This is the part where like more photographers came, same situation as Rogue, and they were taking photos of me in this one area. And these two guys come up to me, and the guy asks me a question in the middle of us me getting photos taken from these guys. And so I like stop and I look over, and all of the photographers are like, dude, we're in the middle of photos here, like what are you doing? And I was like
No chill.
I don't know what to do. I like just stared at the guy, and he asked me this question about like what do I have to do to be your kryptonite or something like that. And I was like,
okay.
You're gonna lead with that?
Oh yeah, I was like, dude,
That's my
I'm
weakness.
sorry.
Pick up lines like that.
How did you resist?
I was like, dude, I'm in the middle of something. I'm sorry. I can't right now. And he just like walked away. He looked frustrated and like walked away.
What did he expect? Like you literally just cut off a bunch of photographers.
Yeah, like I was in the middle of something, bro. Anyway,
I
wouldn't even know how to respond to that either. That's just weird.
Yeah, I like to give heads up if I'm doing like a skit or something like that. I like to talk to the person, set it up, because then they know what to reply, or they'll have something cheeky to say.
Yeah,
I know they're going for that shock factor, but I don't like that. That's pretty cringe.
Yeah, no, I don't know if that ended up in their video or if they just cut that. But hey,
I'm busy right now, bro.
Literally,
serves them right.
So
what was the second creepy one you were talking about?
This was Saturday as Rogue. I was walking around. I went like upstairs to the cosplay central area, and they had like a bunch of Star Wars stuff.
Yes.
And these steps to the upstairs, I was just standing there. So I was checking something on my phone. Somebody came up to me and asked for a photo, and I was like, sure. And this guy was like, could you like kiss me on the cheek? like you're absorbing. I'm like, no, but I can like use my hand and like
Yeah, that's how the
just
power works.
put it on your cheek like
She does on the show.
just like this. That's fine. And he's like, okay. And so I did that. Like, no. One,
No, who asked?
I'm not gonna try and get sick from anything. Okay.
Mm.
And two, no.
Yeah, it was crowded as heck in there, dude. You hear
Yeah.
like random coughs. Some people had their face covered. Others were
Yeah.
just,
Yeah.
The BO was strong in there. Like
Every con.
Oh, that's
Every
con.
con.
Yeah.
Some people
Yeah, but
use
if
all
you-
their money on the tickets and not deodorant.
If you imagine like every con, but multiply that by New York numbers, like there were so many people crammed in
Yeah.
that space, man.
Yeah.
Everywhere you went.
Mm.
I loved the cosplay area. I got to actually meet Erica Fett there, who was super sweet. We got to interview the cosplayer directly next to her. So I did love that area. It was pretty cool. I didn't find out about it until Saturday.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was there Thursday or Friday. It was Saturday.
Yeah,
I was
me
like,
either.
what? There's a cosplay area? So I
Mhm.
went up there and talked to
Then you asked
everybody.
some
It
rogue
was, it was,
cosplayer if she could kiss you on the cheek.
I can neither confirm nor deny.
I know what you want.
I was trying to be canonically
No.
accurate.
But
No.
also, I went to Emerald City Comic Con last March. Yeah, March. And the Artist Alley.
Wait. This March that just passed or
No,
2020?
2023.
That was my first year at Emerald.
Don't even stop it.
Mine too.
Don't even stop it right now.
That was my very first year at Emerald. And the crazy thing is I didn't meet Jay until after. Like we had him as a guest on the podcast after. I didn't know he lived there. I didn't know he was from there. I ran into him. And like I love that man. But I didn't know until after that he was there and we were in the same space and we could have gotten closer, but I had to wait. He came to
Yeah.
Texas, so it all worked out.
Yeah, we met there too. And it was great. We took a picture as Wolverine and Rogue, and then it was great. It was an X-Men meetup that we went
Yeah,
to.
he's the kindest, sweetest guy. What
So
were your
amazing.
thoughts of Emerald? Because Reed Pop is amazing. They do New York,
Yeah.
they do C2E2, they do Emerald. What did you think of the scale? It was like 5 stories.
Yeah, so
of
it was a
con.
new building that they had it in. They had it somewhere else, and it was crazy. 5 stories. I was like, do I have to climb stairs? I don't want to climb stairs.
We
No,
were
that's
literally
crazy.
leaving. We were leaving because we were burnt. Like we had just walked
Yeah.
every floor, so
I
we're
know.
leaving. We're taking off. We're like, oh man, all right, I need to go rest my feet at the hotel. But we see these giant openings on the way out, and there's people down there, and there's booths down there, and we're like, what is that? Did we walk that? And we're like, no, yeah, we walked every floor, and we're like, no. Bandai Namco, I didn't see that on any of the floors we went through. I would have noticed that, and we didn't know there was a basement floor that was just as big as all the
Yeah.
other ones, and that's
Mhm.
where the like Bandai Namco was, and that
Yeah.
where Studio Ghibli was down there.
Yeah,
Like
the
we were dead. We
all the
were walking
shops,
it.
right?
Yeah, we did it all in one day. That was our biggest mistake. 'Cause we walked it all in one day, and all the shops were at the bottom, and we walked them, but man, we were so spent
Yeah.
by the time we figured out that there was a basement level.
Yeah,
That was-
my feet were killing me, especially like in cosplay, and
Mm-hmm.
the boots I was wearing for Black Cat, they're heeled boots, so I was tired.
I could never.
Ooh.
do it.
My feet were
Never.
cramped. Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
I bet.
At Emerald City, I think it was the Artist Alley floor. My friend and I were
Mhm.
walking down this one aisle, and all of a sudden we smell something very bad. Like it smelled like
Oh.
shit.
Oh, somebody
Like-
stepped in something.
I don't know what it was. I don't know if somebody like shot themselves,
Ooh.
or there was a baby that shot themselves. It could have been a grown man. I don't know, but
Totally
it
a
smelled
possibility.
It was one.
bad.
Once again, I'm guilty.
Every con that I go to is always a problem. When you're there, is always an issue.
No, right? It's a coincidence. It's just a coincidence. And what did you do when you were you like, I gotta exit this area ASAP?
My friend and I were like, we
Mm.
made those like we walked by so fast. We was like, let's get out of here. Let's go. Book it.
Why isn't this during COVID? I would have at least had a mask.
For real. I mean, even with the mask, you could have smelt it.
Oh, it would have
Like, that's how
punched right
strong it
through.
was.
Oh, and
It
it would have
was
been
just
in
this
your
one
mask
area.
after that. That's
Time out.
terrible. Con staff, someone,
Oh, security.
someone.
Deodorant,
My eyes are
diapers, like
burning.
y'all need diapers and deodorant, please.
We needed to set that up at our booth for the Superhero Comic Con. But yeah, speaking of which, we'll transition that way. We are having you on the show for a very special reason. You mentioned earlier that you are coming to Texas. So you are live on the website. You will be our guest at the Superhero Comic Con. How excited are you to come to Texas for the first time and be at this crazy, crazy, amazing show packed with so many celebs? What are you most excited about coming to Texas?
I am not excited for the heat, but I am very excited to go to Texas because I've never been that far south before. But I'm not going to count Florida, but like
Nobody counts
south,
Florida.
south. You know.
It's another country.
Yeah. I mean, I only go to Florida if I got to go to Disney World. We'll always go, or Universal.
Yes.
But I've never been that far down south before, so I am excited to experience the culture and hear some southern accents because we don't get that around here. And every time I hear an accent, I like freak out. Not freak out, but like I'm like, oh, it's so cool.
We don't even realize we have accents. Like I used to work like a call center, and they were like, "Oh man, are you from Texas?" I was like, "Yeah." Oh, you're man, your accent's thick. I was like, "What are you talking about? y'all can hear my accent." And then I realized I was saying y'all every time I talk. I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
there it is."
Oh, I say y'all
mind.
too, but like I live in New England. I live close to New York, and
Yeah,
you know,
this is north. I know.
this is north. This is north, y'all. I say
Guys.
north, y'all.
Yeah, you just
East
said
Coast,
you
you
just
know.
said something earlier when you were telling a story, and all that jumped into my head is I'm walking here. I think you said walking, but you said it
Yeah,
with
probably.
that accent. You said
Probably.
walking. I was like, I'm walking here.
Everybody's got an accent. Just got to come out in certain parts. Like when I get super excited,
Exactly.
the twang comes out.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's weird because depending on what I'm saying and who I'm talking to, some sort of accent will show. Like if I'm just very chill, like I am right now, talking with you guys, sure you're gonna get like some sort of like New England accent, I guess. I'll just call it New England because I'm not from New York. And then if I'm talking like,
so you just did it right now, talking.
well, I'm also
talking
Italian too,
here.
so. But if I'm like, if I'm saying like, if I gotta use like I'm white, but if I gotta use like my white person voice, like
Customer service voice.
my customer service voice, yes.
Yes.
Then it'll sound like very clear or like very white. I am white, but white. You know what I mean?
Would it be like extra white, like
Extra
ultra white?
Yeah, sure. But
Trey, you know about that. You're white, but you have an extra white you can go
That's
to.
my customer service voice. Oh, absolutely, ma'am. You got it. Yeah. Whatever you need. We'll take care of that for you.
Why does your customer service voice sound like Mark Wahlberg? That's all I hear. Forget about it, pal.
Hey,
No,
don't
I'm
worry
telling
about
you.
it. Say hi to your mother for me, all right?
I love his
That's
Mark
the best. Like
Wahlberg.
Jay will do that too. Like all of a sudden, like the New York and him will just come out, and it's just like, whoa, okay.
Yeah. I love it. I love it.
No,
I
there
love
will
when
be
the Puerto
times where,
Rican
like,
slips.
if I get upset, then a real hard accent will come out, and I'll like if I
Every
get
bit
like
of the
pissed
Northeast
off,
just spills out.
yeah, it'll all come out. It's crazy.
That's awesome. Well, I can't wait for you to be here in Texas. Are you excited for any particular celebrities that are announced yet?
Oh shoot, I was like looking at it earlier. Orlando Bloom.
It has Orlando Bloom.
Oof.
There's
I love that man.
Chris Pine. Oh,
Chris
Orlando
Pine.
Bloom.
Oh, you just reminded me.
Jake Gilly.
One of the Chris's.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Jake Gilly.
There's no shortage of eye candy.
Chris Pine though.
Yeah, Chris Pine's gonna be great. I loved him in Dungeons and Dragons.
I haven't
I
seen
love
that
him in
yet.
everything. Oh
Oh,
I gotta
man,
see it.
I was not
oh,
expecting it to be as good as it was.
That's what a lot of
If
people
you like
say.
Chris Pine, if you like, I still can't focus. If you,
lower
I don't
your
know why
mic.
I
Lower your
gotta like
mic.
fight. Oh, that might be it. If I
It's
fight
fighting.
my
It's
camera
fighting the
though,
foreground.
I just
You're
gotta
just gonna
threaten it. I
shadow
just gotta
box the
threaten
whole
it.
time.
Just shadow box the entire time. But no, if when you see it, if you like Chris Pine, you are gonna love Dungeons and Dragons. It is such a funny movie, and I did not expect it to be as good as it was story wise. You
Mhm.
being a person who loves story and appreciates it, the pacing, the arcs that are in it are. It's a comedy, but there is a lot of heart in that movie,
Oh yes.
and I love it. I hope you do too. But so Superhero Comic Con, you're going to be a guest. You will be here meeting fans, interacting with everybody. What are you most excited about for the show?
I think I'm most excited for just meeting people and meeting
That is
like
the
new
best part.
cosplayers, especially. Just making new friends in that community.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I also am excited to have my own booth because I've never had my own booth before at a con.
What?
So, and I also have prints that I will be able to like give away and stuff. So,
Yes.
like, it's really cool. I never thought of it until last year when somebody mentioned like, you ever thought about having a booth at a con? I'm like, no. And now the
To be
opportunity
completely
came.
honest,
Mm-mm.
No, never thought. I mean, I like walking around at cons and taking photos
yeah.
and buying stuff, buying too much stuff. But I've always wanted to do like a photo op or get an autograph from a celebrity. I just can't see myself putting $300 down on any one of those.
Well, the great
So,
thing is this one is not $300. A lot of them are super affordable. Not only that, they have,
The
I
free
believe it's
section.
like 8 to 10 free autographs and photo ops from celebrities. People like Katie Lutz from the Arrow series. She
mhm.
played the White Canary. She's going to be there for free. You can get free autograph,
Oh,
free photo
nice.
op. So yeah, this con is amazing and rare in that it gives, I think 8 to 10 celebs will be set up and they're completely free.
Free
You get one
autographs, free
photo, one
selfies.
autograph.
Yeah.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
damn. Well, I gotta look
Yeah,
that up.
it's awesome. Yeah, it'll be listed in the website. If you go, you'll see the
Mhm.
celebrities that are there for free. But you're gonna have a blast. You're gonna have an absolute
I'm gonna have
blast.
so much
Trey,
fun. We're gonna have a good weekend. I'll tell you
oh yeah,
that.
it's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be a lot of fun. But Trey, do you have any questions before we land the plane,
Mm.
wrap this up?
I'll do one because I know this is one of Gigi's favorites.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll ask it for her. If you
Wait,
could
isn't that the
do
last
no,
question?
no, no,
Oh,
no, no,
okay,
no,
no, no,
no,
no.
no, no,
Okay,
no, no. I don't even
okay,
ask
okay.
that one if she's not here. That's
Yeah,
her question.
that's true. That's
Now,
true. We should leave it for her. But
this
yeah, go
one,
ahead, ask your question.
this one, money is no object, time restraints, materials, you name it. What is your dream cosplay?
Ooh, I've only gotten asked this like a few times. Hmm.
Does the answer change, or do you know what you would do if you had unlimited resources and time?
My, this is a different answer than what I usually say. What I've said in the
Oh,
past. I used to say, um, a Mandalorian cosplay,
Okay.
ooh.
but now because I've always wanted to do it, it's just the price and the time it would take and the materials. It's just is a lot.
Mm-hmm.
A Tron cosplay.
Ooh, okay.
Oh,
All right.
with the LEDs built in the
Yeah, it's
suit.
because the lights
Oh,
have to come from this like company in England, and so they're kind of expensive, and shipping here is
yeah.
expensive. And then also, um, the amount of material you have to put into the cosplay to get the lights in. Like you have to use EVA foam plus fabric, and then you have to like 3D print the helmet or whatever, and it's a lot. And I've always wanted
Yeah.
to do it, but the price is just
Keeping you
crazy.
from it right now.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Manifesting it.
And there's no
Manifesting
like
it.
We're putting it out there.
cheap way to do it, you know,
No,
because
Oh, no,
lights
no,
are
no.
no.
expensive.
Yeah, for sure. Especially just the cost of LEDs alone. Like you said, they're specialty
Yeah.
made. You got to ship them here.
Mm-hmm.
So, where can the people find you on social?
Y'all can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. On Instagram, I'm at Stefania _Sassano, and TikTok and Twitter, I call it Twitter still and not X. I ain't never gonna call it X.
You ain't Xing it.
Doesn't sound right.
We're not
Especially
Xers.
Even
Our
if I'm
X
an
today.
X-Men fan, I ain't calling it X.
That is a missed opportunity
Yeah,
on their
I
part.
know, right?
On their part.
Come on,
Um,
Elon.
Yeah. Well, anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Anyway.
I think me and you are on the same wave, Steph. We
Perfect response.
That's we just passed the vibe check.
Hey, I love passing the vibe check. I always try and keep the vibes going. But on TikTok and Twitter, I'm at Stefania Sassano, so no underscore there. And also on YouTube, just type in my name and you'll find me.
Definitely. We'll be sure to tag all of those down in the description of this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for listening. All of her handles will be in the description of this video, and we will be together in person at the Superhero Comic Con. So if you don't have tickets, be sure to get them if you want to get the chance to meet Steph in person and not ask her kryptonite creepy questions.
Please. Yes.
Not allowed.
We'll see you guys. We're out. Peace.